had 2 good practices. They were intense. Our guys were really engaged, really focused on the fundamentals. A lot more individual than you would in the middle of a game week, which has been really good. We really slowed things down, worked some special teams, did the same thing. A lot of individual technique, a lot of competition, able to film it and really evaluate, work on technique, and even got some punts against the wind.
I'm proud of that.
Which we need.
Gus, you talk about having a plan going forward. Do you anticipate any personnel kind of changes?
I wouldn't say anything major, but there's some things that we're going to look at, moving forward about different things in all 3 phases.
Is it tougher making decisions like that, considering you're halfway through the season, you guys, what you've done, and obviously you can't install a lot of new stuff, but does it make it tougher at all?
Well, you just, you want to build upon what you've already established. And in all 3 phases, we've done some good things, throughout the first 6 games. So, you're just always trying to get better, whether it's little wrinkles schematically, whether it's possible personnel in certain situations, and, you're always trying to improve.
Have you allowed Jermaine Whitehead to go back to practice and start practicing with the team?
He's not part of anything. Nothing's changed.
How's Braden looked, kind of getting a look inside a guard? You had a chance to do some of that this week?
Yeah, he has. Of course, he's played some left tackle. He's played some tight end. I also wanted to look at him at guard, and we've kind of been doing that this week. But, he's a young man that has a lot of talent. And, he's shown that the moment's not going to be too big for him, and, we think he's ready to play. So, he's got the ability to do all 3 at this point.
Ready to play, Gus, but ready to start.
I'm not ready to say that, but, he played some big downs, especially on third down to short package, last game, and he graded out overall pretty good.
Does it help keeping him on the left side of things to kind of have that at least that same side?
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. With the no huddle thing, try to keep you on the same side. That definitely helps. He's a smart guy. He's a very talented physical guy, and the fact that we played him the last game, right, he got some significant time. And he showed that he can be a part of the depth situation, which we're fixing to enter the grind, and have 6 games, and it's going to be some very physical games too. So it's always good to have some depth, and we're getting more confidence with him, each practice.
Gus, Hugh Freeze said that they have not played as fast this year because he did a study in the summer and found that they were getting a higher percentage of bad plays when they tried to go fast. Have you seen anything like that? And you guys haven't played maybe as fast as sometimes in the past?
When we get our tempo going, I'd say when we get our tempo going and the rhythm, we really feel good about playing fast. A lot of our problems have been getting started and not getting that initial first down or anything like that. But no, that's who we are. Each coach does evaluation of their team, in the off season and all that. But we like to put the hammer down.
Gus, obviously you have new players, different figures this year compared to last year offensively, but it seems like the offense has kind of shifted at times this year. Has that been by design, or is that just kind of necessity?
Shifted
As far as a little bit more, obviously more to pass. It looks like sometimes you go directly to that instead of working the run first.
Yeah, it depends on your opponent, and we want to be balanced. We talked about that. We're different than we were last year. Personnel, we lost some guys. We added some guys. So we're working to be efficient in both areas. So that's probably what you've seen from time to time.
Are you closer to knowing if Patrick Miller's going to be able to return to the start line?
He's out practicing. Of course, he practiced last week too. Like I said, we felt like he could play in an emergency situation. He's better this week than he was last week, but we'll just see, as it gets into next week about, how healthy he is and all that.
Everything all right with Gabe and Jonathan Mincy? They left in the second half, didn't come back?
Yeah, both those guys will be okay.
Just halfway through the season, how have you felt with the way the whole stuff with Daniel Carlson, as far as how many kind of kicks he's been getting and how you like it?
I think overall he's done an excellent job. We're asking a lot of him. And, he's made some big kicks in all three phases. Kickoff, he kicks most of them in the end zone, whether it's against the wind or with the wind. Punting wise, he's done a solid job. And then, as far as making a big kick, he made a big kick. We put the pressure on him in the fourth quarter when it was 4th down and 2, and we were trying to get within 2 scores, and we put all the pressure on him, and he responded, like a champ. So we're real happy with the way that he's got off to a good start in the first half of the season.
Gus, I got to ask one more Whitehead question. You say that nothing's changed right now. Could it change before the game?
It's possible, but right now it hasn't.
How about Nick Ruffin? How pleased have you been with the way he's made it?
He's not playing like a true freshman. He's getting real confidence, and the thing that's impressed me is his tackling. He's a physical guy that doesn't mind sticking his nose in there, and he's really smart too. So that definitely helps.
Yes. Now that you kind of had time to evaluate the first half, where do you feel like Nick and the passing game are? That's kind of where you'd like to see him.
Well, I think at times we've really been clicking, and then of course at other times, you can tell we've been a little bit off. It's just a matter of being more consistent. I know this week has been really good for us. Really went back to just the basics, so just our base passing, the timing of everything, different looks, and you can really slow down, and you're not trying to scheme up an opponent or predict how they're going to play, and you can just kind of worry about the timing of your base passing game. So I know that's really helped us the last 2 days, and really hoping that'll show and pay off on the consistency part in the second half.
During fall camp, you spoke about how you were hoping that Nick would be able to come in early in the week, particularly on Monday, spend some time on film like Ryan Apple had done with you guys. Has he been able to do that?
Yes, he definitely has.
As we heard today from Steve Shaw, head officials from the SEC, said y'all had a kind of a longer conversation after review of the film, the plays y'all sent in. What went into that? I guess, were you happy with his responses?
Every week as coaches, you submit certain plays and all that. And really the main goal is just to get interpretation so you can coach your guys up better for the next time or whatever. So, I wouldn't read too much more into that. That's an every week deal. And so.
Were you content with what Steve's told you? Or?
Yeah, he's one of us. He's going to tell you, how he sees it and all that, and that's just the way you do it.
Emil Preston was a guy who, especially a year ago, was much further down the depth chart in that rotation on the defensive line. Even entering this season, I don't think back to fall camp much was expected much from him, but he stepped up. He's now starting games. What have you seen from him just to be able to go from a guy who's pretty far down the depth chart to now starting games?
Well, he's been very consistent, and he's a very physical young man. He's really made some really good physical plays. He's a tough guy. He's a smart guy, and he's earned it. And so, that's from a coach's standpoint, that really makes you feel good when you got a guy that really has been consistent and earned his way out there.
Yes, I know that you answered a question today on the teleconference about the whole autograph stuff, and I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago, Jimbo Fisher said that with the way this is kind of going, that he might be for just not letting guys sign anything. Is this stuff with Gurley and Winston, does that change your take on whether guys will be able to sign stuff?
We always educate our guys on the cans and can't do, but we always want our guys to be fan-friendly and engage in that.
Gus, would you be willing to sign or bring a player into a program who has a warrant outstanding for his arrest?
Each individual different, situation is different, and it just depends. But, obviously, we want to bring top-notch guys in that, represent us in the right way.
Gus, can you talk about Duke Williams for the second half of the season? Do you think he's got the potential to play at an even higher level than he has so far?
Yeah, he's really talented. There's no doubt about that.
The tip passes in the Mississippi State game, are most of those protection more so than just the guy getting his hands up?
There was a couple different things. There was one time that we felt like it was probably a protection deal. The other time we just got to do a better job. And there was one time on the backside we were expecting him to close down on a zone read right there, and he ran up on the field and just made a good play, and we put the quarterback in a bind. But I'd say there's 3 different scenarios in there.